Bro, you done turned down 20 million, bro. 20 million. You done turned down 20 million. Guaranteed. 20 million, bro. 20 million guaranteed. Are you serious, bro?
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So apparently Leonard Ellaby, he was on Twitter a couple days ago, and he was extremely busy going back and forth with boxing fans. He was saying that Gervonta Tank Davis only cares about money and legacy. Well, Gervonta Tank Davis was just offered $20 million guaranteed. That doesn't even include the pay-per-view money. That's $20 million guaranteed, according to Bill Haney. And Gervonta, he went live and he confirmed that he was offered $20 million. He basically just said, you know, talk to my people. Don't talk to me about it. Talk to my people. But we know that Leonard Ellaby, we know that Mayweather, we know they don't want Gervonta to fight against Devin Haney because they have said that already. But I'm going to make a separate video on Gervonta actually responding to this offer because I want to completely elaborate on what he actually said. Now, guys, it's important to note that Gervonta was offered, or I should say he was guaranteed $5 million to fight Ryan Garcia. He's now being guaranteed $20 million to fight against Devin Haney. When Ryan Garcia was calling out Gervonta Tank Davis, he wasn't even offering him money. He was just saying he wants to fight Gervonta. And Gervonta was always over the moon saying, let's go ahead and make it. They got on the Tyson show and they said, we fight next and it's going down, just because Ryan simply called him out. It's also important to note Gervonta Tank Davis, in his response, he didn't create any stipulations. He didn't talk about any rehydration clauses. He didn't talk about any catch weights. He presented no objections so far, which means if Gervonta does completely turn down this guaranteed $20 million, it's not because of some weight stipulation. Speaking of the weight situation, you know, I don't really watch too many videos on YouTube. I get all my news from either my comment section or from personal friends and fans that send me news stories. I don't have a Twitter, so they send me stuff that's going on Twitter. So I was receiving a lot of comments that were being sent to Gervonta Tank Davis from boxing fans. Of course, there were a lot of people criticizing him, pressuring him to take the Devin Haney fight. But then there were some fans that was basically encouraging Gervonta to not take the fight, telling Gervonta things like, man, you're a way bigger star than he is, saying things like he's too big for you, trying to encourage Gervonta Tank Davis to create more stipulations like rehydration clauses and catch weights if you're going to fight Devin Haney. Now, the first thing I want to say to that is, once again, it is amazing how the dynamics are constantly changing in the sport of boxing. Yesterday, everybody was saying Devin Haney, he has no power and Tank would knock him out. Now you have fans that would rather not even see this fight because they believe that Devin Haney would have too much of an advantage. And when I say an advantage, I'm talking about a physical advantage. You know, before I continue, I want to ask this question to all the fans, and just go ahead and put it in the comment section. I'm just curious, if Devin Haney and Gervonta were to fight at 140, who do you guys believe would have more power? And I just want a simple Gervonta Tank Davis or Devin Haney answer. No beating around the bush with some long dissertation that deflects from the question. So back to my original point. Let me ask the rhetorical question. Why are there some fans that are already talking about stipulations and negotiations when, first of all, Davis hasn't even agreed to the fight? And Davis himself, once again, has just been offered $20 million guaranteed. And he's not saying anything about catch weights and rehydration clauses. Not as of now. That's not to imply that he won't, but he just hasn't made that the center of the negotiations right now. And in fact, there is no negotiations from Gervonta. Negotiations have already began when it comes to Devin Haney. They're already trying to make the fight right now. That's another question I want to ask fans. Do you guys want to see this fight? And if you don't want to see Gervonta fight against Devin Haney, who do you guys want to see Gervonta fight? And let's say maybe his next 2 or 3 fights. Now listen, guys, as a reporter and a boxing fan, I want to see the best fights regardless of who is going to win the fight. I don't care if someone is going to fight a Nazi and the Nazi is the favorite to win the fight. I still want to know who is the best out of those 2 fighters at the end of the day. You have some fans that are clearly worried about who's going to lose this fight. Some of you fans have got to stop worrying so much about that. Because even if someone loses in this fight, they're losing to one of the best fighters in the world pound for pound, and they can easily bounce back. And they could go back and start beating everyone else that's below this guy that they just lost to. Tommy Hearns, he lost to Sugar Ray Leonard, came back, knocked out Roberto Duran. Manny Pacquiao lost to Floyd Mayweather. He came back, beat Keith Thurman. This is a part of the sport, guys. And the loser of this fight is still going to be considered pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world, unless he gets knocked out and just is no longer the same anymore, like Roy Jones was when he got knocked out by Antonio Tarver. That could definitely happen. But once again, there's a very good chance that they can be the same fighter and they can learn from the loss. So just understand that, guys, because it's just ridiculous for me to hear any boxing fans try to encourage a fighter not to take the fight when it's arguably the biggest fight in boxing right now. Can you guys think of one time we have ever heard boxing fans encourage someone to take a rehydration clause and a catch weight? We've never heard this by fans, because normally fans just want to see the best fights. Now, of course, it's different when a boxer is demanding any type of stipulations, but it makes no sense for a boxing fan, if he really wants to see the best fights, to be talking about negotiations and stipulations that are not even taking place. When once again, Davis hasn't even agreed to fighting Devin Haney yet. At least wait until you know that there's serious negotiations. And then when you hear Gervonta come out and say, look, I want this, I want that, that's when it would make more sense for anyone to go ahead and side with Gervonta and say, I agree with him, et cetera, et cetera. But who are you agreeing with right now when there is no fight being agreed upon? So before I wrap this video up, I have to reiterate the point. Gervonta Tank Davis has been offered $20 million guaranteed. He was offered, or he was guaranteed, $5 million against Ryan Garcia, just to give you guys a little bit of contrast. And Gervonta is not turning down the $20 million because he is demanding any type of stipulation as of yet. So just do a little bit of math. Can you imagine how much money Gervonta stands to make if he's guaranteed $20 million? And then you think of the pay-per-views. The pay-per-views could be $80. They could be $100. And this fight could easily do, what, 500 to 1 million pay-per-view buys? It would be somewhere in between probably 500 and 1 million. It might even hit 1 million. So now Leonard Ellaby, he cannot say they're not fighting against Devin Haney because it's all about the money. He can no longer use that excuse. And unlike the Spence Crawford situation, there is not going to be a debate on who's the A side, who gets the bigger split, because this $20 million offer suggests that Gervonta is definitely going to be the A side and Devin Haney is okay with it. With that being said, I'm gonna wrap this video up. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.
Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes,
Fever blisters, diabetic ulcers.
this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called LO Key Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to LODkey.com.
Like them on Facebook and follow them on Instagram.